Opening the portal and looking through. It's been a couple of weeks now. It's actually been like a week and a half. Because it's now the 17th. Let me mark my calendar. Oh, I already marked it. Good. So there's advanced stages of decay on a lot of these bodies looking through. The fortress is still sitting there, and it looks like this fortress is literally constructed with the stone and the metal that made up the infinite staircase. The staircase has been torn apart, leaving this wide landing with this squat little fortress on it. It's actually more of a tower than a fortress, having been fused together out of this metal lattice work. It definitely looks like a large-scale battle has been fought here. Not recently anymore. It would have been recently if you guys had gone through at the beginning of the session, like I intended, but you're like, no, Brick Road's plans, we don't care, we got other stuff to do. Walking through the portal...
Dude, it's the infinite staircase. You can just say that when we walk through, it's the exact same time as when we left.
Right, yeah.
As you get closer, you see the tower is... It's made of this rusting, corroded metal, and it's got this iron gridwork instead of solid walls. And the bodies of fiends and humans, and maybe even a tiefling or two, are smoldering in the fires of battle. And as you continue to approach, you spy movement in the walls. Like you're thinking there's a watchman on duty who's walking around and keeping eye, but that's not what it was. It was the wall itself that moved. The walls themselves are alive. That's your first thought looking at it. But it's not quite right. The walls themselves are made out of unyielding iron, but there's something alive in the walls. And now I would like to share with you some official TSR artwork.
Some iron golem art.
Of what the walls of this tower look like.
We're in agreement before we go through that none of this is our fault, right?
When you get very close to the tower, you see that the fiends have built living people right into the very walls. These poor sods are shackled within the gridwork of iron and surrounded by razor-sharp wire. From the size of the fortress, you guess there must be hundreds of such prisoners in the walls. Not all of them are alive. This place has suffered some battle scars relatively recently, and the cries of just pain and anguish as you approach permeate your ears.
It just doesn't seem structurally sound.
Looking at the tower from the outside, I could actually get my... Make sure I don't give you guys bad information. Why I wouldn't want to do that. It looks as though maybe 80 or 100 feet up, it looks like there are several landings on the outside of the tower where the lattice and gridwork give way to wide openings in the wall. And then above that, another maybe 40 or 50 feet above that, it looks like an entire side of the tower has been blasted away.
So we are outside the tower right now.
Yeah, you've approached the tower. The front doors... I'll go ahead and just put the map on screen here. I might as well. Is everybody done looking at the horrible...
Yeah. I'm guessing this is one of the guys who died. This guy's not alive anymore.
I'll put it this way. The guys you're looking at that can't possibly be alive are still moving, and many of them are still moaning. So, everybody's got a movement speed, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's true. I do have a movement speed.
Is anybody's movement speed not 30?
Probably Serenity.
I know Liberations isn't, but he's not here this week. Okay.
Yeah, some other guy has it way higher, but he's not here.
His like 87, 88? So,
Yeah.
Riot, your movement speed is 30?
Mm-hmm.
Kelian, yours is 30?
Rough.
Mahogany's is 30?
For the moment.
Yours is 40?
If you're about to describe some reason we'd want it to be way higher than that, be aware that I have a spell called Longstrider, which I can cast on the party.
Okay. I did have to put together a couple of house rules to make this work, because I didn't like the way that worked in the module. So I had to... So I do apologize if this gets a little too complicated. You guys are coming in from the north here, into room number 1, and I will describe that to you after I go through this explanation. If you remember the first visit to the Infinite Staircase, the area where the demon was this twisted, just gnarled area of the staircase where it looked like dimensionality was falling apart.
Yeah.
And that's the same sense you get when you enter into this tower. Each one of these squares is a 5-foot square, but you get that same distortion effect when you're looking across the room. You're not really sure how much distance is in front of you. So here's the rule. You can move up to 2/3 of your speed safely. Riot, Kelian, and Mahogany, that is 20. Serenity, we're going to say 25. Mm-hmm. If you attempt to move further than that, you are subject to that dimensionality altering, and you risk not ending up on the square you thought you were moving to.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Does that apply per movement? If we moved and then used our action to also move, would we be able to get 40 feet? Or is it like 20 is the safest you can go?
20 is the safest you can go. If you decide to move 20 and then dash to take another 20, that would be unsafe.
Okay.
That encompasses all of your movement in one turn.
If I shift forms, though, does it go up to the new 2/3, or does it stay at 20?
We'll use whatever your movement is currently, and all what we're going to do is just put your movement in and multiply it by 0.66.
Yeah.
So, here's how it works. Mahogany, if you wanted to take... You can walk 20 feet safely. That's 4 squares for you. Yep. If you wanted to move your full 6... The last 2 squares, you will roll 2d6s, and those 2d6s will tell me what square you end up on.
Okay.
If you end up walking into the walls of this place, which are full of maniacal and razor-sharp wire and zombies and skeletons and God's knows what else, that's bad.
Yeah, and there's also like a skull, just a drawn skull.
Oh, we'll get to that. That's... Bodies and gore are everywhere when you look into the front doors of this room. Even the prisoners trapped within the rusting gridwork of the walls, floor, and the ceiling have long since died in this room. The captives hang limply. Some of them are clearly undead, and they're just kind of moving, shambling in place, but all of them are stuck. The flies are so thick here that it's hard to speak or breathe without getting them in your mouth. There are maggots squirming through the carnage all around you, and from far off, in every direction, you hear the sobs of the wounded and the gibbering of madmen. Many of the prisoners are not so fortunate as to be dead. This room is basically destroyed. Laying in the center of it is some kind of gargantuan fiend of some kind. It's been mutilated and not really identifiable, but you see in one of its hands it's clutching the semi-crushed head of a Vrock. A Vrock is a tannery that looks like a giant vulture man.
Yeah, we remember those from last campaign.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I threw a bunch of those at you. This Vrock's talons are engorged deep into this fiend's neck. It looks like they died in this scuffle. In this giant fiend's other hand is a huge battle axe that he's got a death grip on. What are we doing for light sources?
I have a light cantrip, and we got daylight.
Are you using it?
Yeah, if we need to.
Okay.
Serenity will take the cover off from all so it glows.
Okay. Kelian, what are you putting your light cantrip on?
His sword.
Okay, so you've got a glowing sword, and let's get Serenity actually over here with the group. Or she being a coward today. She's like, you guys go into the disgusting, haunted, terrible place.
Right, it's got a light cantrip, but she's not using it yet because she's not. The other two have got it covered.
You can hear shambling undead in this direction, and when you look in the room, your light has difficulty penetrating the darkness of this area, but you can see movement in the area, in that direction, that you hear this shambling and moaning coming from. And You're not sure if there's some kind of magical darkness in place that's interfering with your light, or if it's one of those dimensional distance things that's playing tricks with your eyes. And I need to roll for random encounters. All right, back to you.
You don't.
Do you need us to move like one bit at a time when we're not in combat?
No, we're only gonna worry about that movement thing when we're on initiative. I'm not worried about it outside. Yeah.
All right. I want to go see if I can see what's going on in here. Or is this just like so twisted you can't see past it?
No, these are gridwork walls with prisoners that were lashed into them, but these walls have been blown apart. Looking into this room from that distance, you see zombies shambling around.
And what is this, like, the blown apart? Is that difficult terrain or anything?
Yes, actually it is. That would be difficult terrain to move over. Because
So
you're
I've
looking
got
at lashes of razor wire and corpses, some of which are still moving. It's pretty terrible.
So I've got a racial feature that has never come up before that I ignore difficult terrain in stonework. Does that count or not?
It doesn't. It's not stonework. It's metal and bodies. This place is built out of iron and flesh. You can see partially into this room here because the wall's been blown apart. You've got a door going here and a door right here. And as you enter the room, you hear a voice from this door. And it's just a madman gibbering to himself. He's lashed inside of the structure of the door. His eyes darting around the room insanely. You can't tell if he notices you or not, even when he's looking directly at you.
Maybe save the people door for later. Maybe try this one.
And moving towards this one, you see that is also a people door. But the body in this door is dead and not moving.
Okay,
that's better.
Yeah.
So let me actually... What do you guys think? Blood red for the people doors? Would that be good?
Yeah.
All right.
Sure.
Let's do this reddish color here. So this is a people door.
Might want to use the different tool. Pencil's pretty small. There's like a vector paint that's bigger.
That's all right. I'll use that one. I don't like the word vector because it sounds like technology. And Vector Man was a bad game. There's also a door up in this corner here, in case you didn't see it there. So you've got this
people door though.
It is indeed.
Well, there you go then.
Vector's a really cool city, though.
Something is very strange about the height of this room, because you've got this staircase in front of you that spirals up to the next landing up, which is maybe 40 or 50 feet high. But looking directly above you, you don't see that landing. It seems like it's impossible for this shaft to exist here, but it reaches much, much higher than the stairs go, and ends about 100 feet off the floor. At the top of the shaft, you see long, rusty iron hooks sticking out of the walls and the ceiling. And perched atop two of such hooks, you see just glaring eyes in the darkness, watching your every move.
Right.
Does it look like this was like the tower was built around part of the staircase? Is that what? Like this part used to be part of the infant staircase, and then somebody dismantled it and built the tower around it.
Yeah, that would be safe to say, actually. As far as the current physical structure, it looks like this staircase will take you up to the second floor of the tower, which is 40 feet high. But standing in the room, you can't look up and see the second floor. You're looking up into this 100-foot tall shaft.
Yeah. Okay. I know Mahogany likes to scope out a floor fully before we ascend, right?
I mean, this floor is kind of shit.
You think the next one's going to be better?
No, but Mahogany looks around and he says, I think I got this floor down.
I'm going to open this door anyway.
This one here?
Yeah.
At first, there doesn't seem to be any particular way to open the door. You can tell that it's supposed to swing, you can see the giant hinges, but there doesn't seem to be like an obvious handle. So, describing the door, I mean, imagine just the iron gridwork of the wall. You can look through the empty space in the door into the room beyond, but doing so, the room beyond looks so dark and distorted, you can't make out any features.
Okay.
So you've got this dead body in the door, lashed up with razor wire, and kind of fused in with the metal. What does Riot try to open the door?
First, I'm going to look for hinges. Does this door open inward or outward?
Looks like it would open outward.
All right.
Yeah, the hinges are on the outside of this door.
Riot's going to motion Serenity over before she does anything, because I don't want her all the way over there.
Sure.
And then try pulling on one of the people's arms.
You reach into the door and pull on the guy's arm,
Yeah.
and part of his flesh sloughs off. This guy's been dead for quite some time. He doesn't look like he's one of the zombies, though. He's not one of the undead. But his wrists and his ankles disappear into these big connecting... I don't even know what you would call them. Connection junctures. And just kind of testing it a little bit, it's pretty firmly in there.
Okay. I'm not trying to free him. I'm trying to use him as a lever to open.
So yeah, how much you're pulling out with some force?
Yeah.
It really feels like you'd have to break his arm to pull it out. When you give it some heft, the door doesn't budge as you pull his arm outward.
Okay.
See, this is why this is just pointless. Like, it's not even a good door. It's not
No,
like they
it's
tortured someone and then got a good door out of it. Like, it's just a bad door.
Yeah. No, I'll agree with you there. Any other ideas?
If we're gonna go through, let's just knock him down and go through.
Oh, you're
And
just
Mahogany will motion to Serenity.
well, I mean, it opens outward, but yeah, be my guest.
All right.
So you're just going to dismember this poor sod with your maul?
Yeah.
And I mean, you...
Can I cleanly kill him before I do that?
He's dead.
He's already dead.
Okay. This one's dead. That's why I chose this door first.
I mean, it's easy enough to break the bones in his arms and legs, and it's grisly work, but you manage to dismember the corpse, and eventually it lists forward, its torso and neck caught up in this razor wire that's lashed with inside of the gridwork frame. And that's all that's holding it up now.
I'll just pull the whole thing free and throw it to the side.
It's just wasteful.
Serenity, make a dexterity check.
A check?
Check, yes.
Okay. Yeah, 10.
A 10. 3 points of slashing damage.
Okay.
As you're disentangling this guy from the door and pulling pieces of his torso and his skeleton out, part of the razor wire that was previously held taut whips out cruelly at you, slashes you across the upper arm and part of your chest. And the thick flies in the room start buzzing around the wound greedily.
Riot's gonna take her scarf and kind of tie it up around her mouth.
Okay.
So, what do we see beyond that after the corpse has been removed?
I mean, there's an empty space in the door, but looking beyond it, you can't see any details of the room beyond. It looks like the spatial properties of the place is so twisted you can't see from one room into the other through a closed door.
Oh, the door itself is still closed?
Door itself is still closed. You just...
Oh, open the door. Sorry, I misunderstood. I thought the guy was the door.
I thought the guy was the door, yeah.
Yeah, no, I thought the guy was the door.
Yeah, he's inside of the gridwork of the door.
Okay.
But there's no obvious handle or anything to open the door with. So what does Serenity try as far as opening the door?
Started.
Hammer time.
Hammer time?
Yep.
That was the goal.
So you're
We
gonna
didn't just decide we wanted to take out this corpse. We were
Okay.
like, man, fuck this guy.
So what do you,
I'll just bring my maul and try and hit it where I think the hinges would be if it was a normal door.
well, you can see the hinges on the outside. It
Okay.
looks like the
Yep.
door
Just
opens out.
shatter it near the hinges so it can fall inward.
Okay. Make a strength check. Make this check at disadvantage.
23.
Okay. And you smash the upper lower hinge of the door. And as the hinges come loose from the door, very suddenly you see these 4 little junctures where this man's hands and feet are still in place, where you've broken his kneecaps and torn his elbows out. Very abruptly and very cruelly twists in place. And you hear the crunch as the bones grind inside. But the hinges are broken on the door now, and it looks like the whole thing could be pulled out of the way.
Can I just kick it in?
You push it in?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it is canonical. It is traditional to kick these sort of things, but sure, I'll
Right,
push it.
yeah. It's Doom.
And it opens into this empty room.
Any features of the natural horribleness of the place when I enter?
The walls and floors and ceiling of this little room looks just as horrible. I mean, you're trotting on dead and maybe some partially alive faces as you walk in. And once again, 2 more doors in this room.
They also have corpses in them.
Yes, both of these ones are corpses.
I'm beginning to think Mahogany was right.
Probably. I'm going to go ahead and try this one, though. So,
And you
same-
don't know how much it pains me to say that.
Same situation. Same.
Blast
same
out the
routine.
hinges. Okay, make a strength check at disadvantage.
This does add proficiency, right? A check?
No.
Oh, wait,
does
I wouldn't
not.
be... Okay, so just... Oh, yeah, Ross. Right. That would be in athletics. I might have overstated that one. That's a natural 1.
Okay. There is some kind of resistance when you're trying to crash into these hinges. The first one came undone pretty easily. This one rebuffs your strikes.
Hey, Kelian, you got a crowbar?
I was just about to offer. Pulls out his burglar's kit. Pulls
Okay.
out the crowbar.
So you're gonna
Does
try
that cancel out the disadvantage?
you're gonna try to pry the door open?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And you
Normally
do.
the crowbar would be for advantage on a strength check, right?
Yeah.
It depends on the check, but with the crowbar, you get some leverage. You start prying the door outward, and as soon as the door moves an inch, you see those 4 juncture points once again snap very abruptly. And you hear this corpse's bones grind and splinter on the inside. And the corpse is now hanging there just limply from just the skin of his wrists and ankles holding him in place. And that opens into a room that has a word in it.
Yeah. Sausage?
Sausage. This is the sausage room. You guys made it.
Mm-mm.
Finally.
A lot of jerky in there.
We shall now read from the book.
Storage.
So it opens up into a storeroom. It's a simple room. It's got... I mean, we're talking about a storeroom used by fiends. So we're talking about torture implements, bins of coal, barrels of oil, water, haunches of rotten meat hanging from hooks. Nothing that looks really useful to you guys, but it would be very useful to, say, an abyssal fiend who wanted to torture and harass people. The door on the far end of this room has a living being in it, but this door is already open. That door opens into a hallway beyond that has another living guy in it.
I think at this point we all agree with Mahogany. Should we just go upstairs?
Let's check out this hall first. I mean, this
All
door's
right.
open. We don't have to do anything to open it. We can at least look inside.
Do I have to stop?
No, you can freely walk through the door. I mean, it's open enough to go through.
No. Just sometimes when I move into a room like that, you say stop.
Ah,
It's very frequent.
yeah, let's go ahead.
It's really frequent, yeah.
Kelian leans into Mahogany and says, "Let me know if you feel like burning this place down."
Mahogany picks up a dice, drops it on 20. He's like, yeah.
Let's roll some initiative.
Oh, okay.
The Blood War is one of the most pointless things.
Hey,
to
that
get
was
involved in.
that was a mid-roll.
Nope.
Come on.
Thanks, Mahogany, because he's not going to end the war, and it's just going to be terrible forever.
Well, how does Mahogany know he can't end the war? What has he tried?
Ugh. People have tried.
Peace, love, and harmony.
I like this infinite background we've got. I'm just noticing now.
There's a lot of bookkeeping for these monsters, so if I get a detail wrong halfway through the combat and something changes and I don't notice, I apologize in advance. So, looking into this room, this looks like it's an appointed quarters, or was before death and destruction was rained down onto this place. It looks like it was built for some sort of fiend to be their personal quarters. I mean, the furniture looking in there is all smashed, just rubble everywhere, and you see 5 zombies milling about. These zombies... Have you guys fought zombies before in this campaign? Have we done zombies?
I feel
I
like
think we've done many types of skeletons, but not zombies.
We fought some zombies the last campaign.
Zombies.
The zombies are hideous to behold. Not only because they're the walking dead, like corpses that walk. I mean, they're hideous because they're malformed. Parts of their bodies are the wrong shape. Their flesh looks like it's been messed with. It looks melted in some areas, stretched in others. Like looks like somebody loaded them into Photoshop and used the blur and smudge tools all over them. They have too many joints in one area, too many toes in another, too many openings, and the way they move is extremely unsettling. Like the muscles underneath their misshapen skin are placed wrong. And they rolled really crappy on initiative. I'll have you know.
Yes, and so did I, so we can share that together.
Riot.
8.
8s. In 2nd edition, zombies didn't even roll initiative. They just always acted last. Kelian.
12.
And Serenity.
Serenity acts at 13.
And Mahogany.
6. I can't roll that poorly. I'm a cipher.
Hey, you still beat the Zambos.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I can't lose to that.
So Serenity, you're up first.
All right, let's do action trance. Let's move to here, and let's make a reckless attack using the great weapon bonus.
By the way, I did the best that I could with the squares on this map, but the maps in the book were all at really funny angles, so...
Well, do I want the 4 or do I want the 4? Let's see, after the great weapon... -5. Sorry, 1 second. That'll hit a 8 on armor class.
That hits.
Okay.
They're zombies!
Yeah, they're zombies, dude.
10 damage. So plus 18 damage. Okay.
It probably leans into the blow.
Which one are you attacking? The one to Serenity's right or left?
The one I tabbed the one up to the north from my perspective.
This one here, okay.
23 damage.
23 damage.
Second attack, same one. That'll hit a yes.
Okay.
That'll hit armor class a zombie. Or well, this says it's a 5, even though I don't like that angle. I'm gonna take tabletop at its word. 27.
Okay. And that one is sufficiently smashed.
Bonus action, hit this guy. The armor class of zombie. For 27.
Okay. Roll a d20.
That's the end of Serenity's turn.
Roll a d20.
Oh, sorry.
They're zombies.
Yeah, I gotta see if they pop back up. 13.
13. You bludgeon this zombie, and you knock the first one to the ground, and it ceases moving. Turn around and hit the second one, and as you hit it, you think it's reeling back, like you've dealt it such a severe blow that it's about to fall over. But its arm pops out of its socket and latches onto you.
Oh, poop on that.
That's the end of Serenity's turn.
Armor, it's not going to hit. Armor class of 9.
No. Did you roll with advantage?
Oh, no, I didn't, but thanks for reminding me. Armor class of 19.
Yes, that will hit.
All right. That's much
Give
better.
you a hand.
2 points of piercing damage.
So 1. Got it.
Okay.
It's stuck
And
to
you
your
now got this zombie's claw kind of clutching onto you, and it falls to the floor and scatters there, but it's still reaching up and clawing at your legs.
Okay.
On the plus side, the zombie now only has 1 arm. That's going to bring us to Kelian.
Okay. This is a thing. Okay. Go
So-
over here. I'm gonna go right there. And I want to shoot that one with a big old glass bolt.
Okay.
And I'm going to do it at advantage because I'm active first.
Okay.
Yeah, remember that? That's a thing I have.
That
That's
is a
true.
thing you have.
I finally beat someone in the initiative order.
I feel like people in my YouTube comments have yelled at you for not remembering that's a thing.
Hey,
you have.
there you go.
How about them apples, huh?
I wish I had apples.
Those are delicious.
12.
12?
I'm assuming this one is not in range of Serenity.
No.
Yeah.
Okay. Moving or staying put?
Up.
They're going to step
Yeah.
back. Okay.
It's not even being within
Riot.
range. It's typically 5 feet.
Mhm.
You're up.
Can I toss a produce flame at this guy from here?
You cannot see him from there. No, you don't have line of sight. Because that door, that mahogany standing in the doorway
Oh, I
is
see.
opening
what you-
outwards.
Yeah, good point. Okay.
From there, you could.
Yeah.
I mean, but if you stand there, you get the running gibberish commentary of the man trapped in that door.
I just spent 2 hours with Karen.
All right. Yeah, you can produce flame.
You get advantage.
That'll hit.
Yes, that is armor class zombie.
Where's my d8s?
Let me pretend to roll this dice.
Oh yeah, I'm not sure I cannot hit. Oh, on a 1, I guess I wouldn't. That's 8 fire damage.
8. Okay.
This dude.
And the thing gets scorched, but does not die. Doesn't die any more than it already is dead, I should say.
I think I will step back because that 1, 2, 3, and then 4 is minus 4 movement.
Okay. And mahogany.
So is that arm on Serenity at the moment?
It's in Serenity's space. It's clamoring around. It took a swipe at her as it popped off, and it's still available to claw at her from the ground.
Yeah, I'll whip it. Whip it good.
Whip it good.
Yeah, that'll hit.
Didn't even know you had a whip.
I have a thorn whip.
Oh, you're gonna thorn whip it. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
everyone's favorite spell that Mahogany casts, Thorn Whip, makes an appearance.
go ahead and roll.
Mahogany can have spells?
No, not really.
We all got the joke, Nick.
So is this guy gonna move forward?
Well, I'm gonna whip him for 10 damage.
For 10 damage.
Yeah.
Hey, bear with me 1 second. Like I said, there's lots of bookkeeping for these
Do you
guys.
need to know what type of damage that is?
It's slashing, isn't it?
Piercing.
That's fine. So not only does the arm die, but the host zombie also dies.
What? And Mahogany goes, well, that's interesting.
Moving or staying put, Mahogany?
You know, I'm good.
I'm just gonna. Are you gonna stand in front of or behind that door
Yeah,
at the end of your
very
turn?
much behind.
Behind it. Okay, so you step
Yeah.
up behind the door. I'm also. I forgot my guy was mowing the lawn today, so you guys might hear a lawnmower. Sorry. Zambos.
We do hear it, but it's very quiet.
I hear it very loudly. There's nobody else to attack but Serenity.
Yeah, that's the goal. That's the dream, is what we're living right there.
All right. I get to roll at advantage, and all of them get 3 attacks. So I get to roll a crap load of dice. All right, Serenity. We'll do Zambo number 1 first. I'll just roll all his dice all at once.
You are raging, right, Serenity?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's fine.
15. Does a 15 hit armor
15
class?
is my armor class.
So that hits, and the 21 will hit, and the 11 will not. Okay, so the claw from the first Zambi. 7 points of slashing damage. And the bite from the... I'm sorry, the second claw from the first Zambi. 7 points of slashing damage, and his bite missed. Second Zambi. 12 is going to miss. 23 will hit, and a 20 will hit. So the claw from the second Zambi. 4 points of slashing damage. The bite from the second Zambi. 3 points of piercing damage, and make a Constitution saving throw.
Should probably belief point that. It's a, we'll find out. You can always do that afterwards, right?
Yeah.
It's an, 12.
12's not going to pass that Constitution save.
Yeah, let's go ahead and belief point that. 15.
Alright, 15, you're fine. And the final Zambi. 24 will hit, 13 will not hit, 21 will hit. First claw from the second Zambi is 9 points of slashing damage. And the bite from the final Zambi, 2 points of piercing damage, and make another Constitution saving throw. That'll do it.
28.
So you guys all watch these Zambis step forward and just start slashing and biting at Serenity, and there's something very wrong about their movements. Like I mentioned, their flesh, the way it hangs on their bone and muscle, is very, very incorrect. And I need to roll percentile at the top of the combat round. I actually should have done this at the beginning of combat. I need to keep track of how much slashing or piercing damage everybody has sustained. So, Serenity, how much did you have?
Was that all slashing and piercing?
All that Zambi was slashing and piercing, yes.
Do you care about the razor wire?
Yes.
And do you care about before or after damage reduction?
After.
19 total damage.
19. And nobody else has sustained damage yet, right?
No, we don't take damage. That's Serenity's job.
That's her job. Good call. Okay. And as these zombies are opening fresh wounds, the places where they pierce the flesh, the flies are thicker and thicker in the air. This brings us back to Serenity.
All right, first attack. Let's go with this guy.
Okay.
This is obviously, reckless and taking the -5, so that hits armor class of zombie. For a 26 damage.
Okay.
Second attack. That'll only hit armor class of, 16. What am I saying?
16 is good.
For 22 damage.
And he is an ex-zombie.
And then I get the extra attack from dropping someone. I'll swing at that one. It's an armor class, so that might actually miss 6.
6 will not hit.
Okay.
Wait,
let's
are
see
you
Serenity's
attacking
turn.
at disadvantage?
No, but I take -5 to my hit
You
roll.
rolled a
Oh,
14.
you're right. Yeah, what am I even saying? No, that totally hits. Thanks. Thanks. I was not.
Yeah, I was like, that doesn't seem right.
He was not numbering correctly.
For 25 damage.
Okay, and that's the one that Riot had previously charboiled. And that one also dies.
Okay, that's the end of Serenity's turn.
Moving or staying put? Just staying right there?
She's good. Yep.
Kelian.
Can I shoot this guy?
You sure can.
I'm gonna shoot that guy.
I'm going to give him partial cover because Serenity's in the way, but yeah, you can shoot him.
Well, if
And you can shoot him from there with no problem at all.
no partial cover.
I mean, partial cover on something with AC 8 isn't saying much. You're still looking to hit AC 10.
Oh, he admitted what it is. It's 8.
Well, these are zombies, dude. They might as well not
Got
have
him.
AC.
I'm also Kelian, so
That's true. Here's the one. Here it comes.
that's
Nah,
a
you got
13.
Alright, go ahead and roll damage.
Hold on. Don't
There's more coming.
Watch all the dice go everywhere. Great.
That was fairly well behaved of them.
Yeah.
How about the lighting of
Or-
this background too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nice and
30
ominous.
points of damage.
30
Yeah.
points? Would you believe this thing has exactly 30 hit points?
I did it.
All
We're
right,
going to learn the
beautiful.
terrible secret of space.
In our Ravenloft session, we didn't play yesterday, but last week, the Paladin twice in the same combat hit a monster and brought it down to literally 1 hit point. And both times I said, why don't you come around to the side of the screen so you can know that I'm not bullshitting you about this. And you guys dispatch the zombies and they stop moving. And just the mounds of flesh they leave, they don't even fall correctly. Like, they don't even hit the ground like as bodies or corpses. It's just like a sack of meat held together with this stretched and smeared flesh.
We walk forward and they just slide around on the floor. It's just Dark Souls.
They're ragdolling, yeah.
It's just ragdoll.
Like a Bethesda game.
Yeah.
Be right back.
So as far as doorways go, this guy's alive, dead, and this one is open. And you hear
Alright.
more moaning coming from through the destroyed walls in this direction and through the door in this direction.
I'm not.
Let's
Yeah.
make sure we know what we want so that we can accomplish it.
That sounds like a thing I said once and you poo-pooed.
We can figure out how to accomplish it as it comes up, but let's at least make sure we know what we want to accomplish.
Right.
And the guy in the door asks how any of you can ever know what you really, truly want. And then starts
so first
cackling
of all, we ignore
madly.
the people on the doors.
Right.
Second one.
Second one, we're here because of Fred. We want to anything we can find about Fred and why he owned this tower.
The guy in the door
is a-
knows Fred.
It's a place. What? No, he doesn't.
He says he does.
Describing.
And he describes Fred as being about 5 foot tall and having a couple of arms and having big locks of brown hair. And
Dude,
he wears an eye patch.
You're forgetting desire number 1 already. Already, Riot.
He gives a long, detailed description of somebody.
Yeah, but if he doesn't say he was fat and dumb, then I'm not going to believe him.
He
Let's
asks
go
you
right.
to lean in really closely, and he'll tell you where Fred is.
Yeah, not doing that.
All right, rule number 1 though.
No, but rule number 2 sometimes might supersede rule number 1 if I thought this guy knew anything about his Fred, which he clearly doesn't.
All right. So we want to find out the Doomguard, right? So here's my issue:
Wait,
is that I said,
Doomguard?
yeah, the Doomguard that ran in here because they probably know what's up with Fred.
Right. Yeah, okay.
So what? The thing that we're running into is I don't think we can actually just go up this tower because we have no reason to believe the Doomguard are at the top of it.
And the guy in the door says all of the Doomguard at the top of the tower, and they're plotting. They're up there right now.
Which
So
guy
what
is saying
You're
this?
running out of
Sorry.
time. The guy in the door that you guys are
The guy
standing
in the
next
door.
to. This guy here.
Okay. I feel like it would be less cruel to just kill him.
Well, he seems to be having a good time.
He really doesn't. He looks like he's having the worst time. It looks like he's been physically and emotionally tortured to the point where he can only cope with his situation by spouting nonsense and lies.
If we can't burn the place down, we'll send the bleakers in once we leave.
Dude, you turn the bleakers onto this place.
I think they just all slit their throats right there.
No, I think they would actually probably feel the first pleasure in their lives because they would come in here and they'd be like, yes. This confirms all of our thoughts.
The guy tells you the bleakers are upstairs with the Doomguard. They're plotting. Would you like to know what their plots are? Lean in real close and he'll tell you.
Yeah, so we're looking for the Doomguard. We're looking for anything about Fred. Those are the two things we want from this tower, right?
Right. So we probably have to go like with lesser goals, burn down the tower, all that, etc. That might happen, but those are lesser goals. Yeah. So we might have to explore this.
The man in the door tells you that you can't burn down the tower because fire doesn't exist.
Nobody's listening to the man in the tower. We don't know what he says.
Mahogany's literally talking over him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Rule number 3, let's try to open as few of these people to. Because Riot points is like, there, for instance, that door's already open. Let's try that one first.
Sounds good to me. Let's go.
Okay. And it's a small room. Again, it looks like it was set aside for being quarters for one of the fiendish denizens of this place, but it's been ransacked. And the guy in this door is very dead, and the opening of the door has shattered the bones in his arms and legs.
You think that Doomguard opened these doors, or who?
Well, there weren't enough Doomguard to get in here. But there is a lot of destruction.
But no, I'm talking about that one guy who came in.
Oh, you think that maybe they just opened up these doors?
I think he might have opened up some of them.
Yeah, it's possible.
Okay.
That's why I think they're good. They're good ones to check.
Yeah, let's check this armory.
Sorry, let's check this. Make a Constitution saving throw. DC is 11. Looking in the armory, the place is filled with weapons and armor. It looks like this was the repository for a lot of the gear stripped off of the fallen combatants outside. It also looks like it's stocked. The room was already pretty well stocked beforehand with weapons of all shapes, sizes. A lot of these are Tanari make, and the difference between Tanari weapons, like if you go to a weaponsmith and sigil, a weapon, a sword, or a spear, or a bow, or whatever, has functionality at heart. Can I use this weapon and will it get results? A Tanari weapon, in a lot of cases, sacrifices some of that efficiency and practicality just to be fucking mean. Tanari weapons are cruel and unusual. It's not just, can I deal enough damage to kill you? It's, can I inflict as much pain as possible while leaving you alive? That's the kind of weapons you see in this armory.
Alright.
Not seeing a lot of Doomguard armor. So.
Sorry.
Serenity.
In order to pick out like an individual item like Doomguard armor, you'd have to go into the armory and actually start searching through it.
If you're going to tell me I would have to go into the armory, the answer to that is not going to happen.
Not going to happen. I will reveal a little more of the map for you, though, because you guys are looking around this corner now, which means I'm going to have to...
Mahogany looks in that room, and he literally says out loud, yeah, go into that room, a sword bites me or something. Let's just skip that.
There's one more alive guy here.
Okay.
And looking down the end of the hallway, it's another slightly more lavish quarters than the ones you've seen so far, slightly larger. But this one is just lousy with zombies.
Alright, let's not go that way. Unless we're back on initiative.
No, not yet. You're far away from those zombies.
Okay.
That's what the skulls on the map are. That's where the zombies live.
Yeah, Zambos.
Okay, so we look in and we see a bunch of zombies whenever we see a skull. Got it.
Yeah. But you came around this corner, we're right on top of these guys, and they noticed you.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's next?
Did Serenity make that saving throw?
It was DC 11. How'd she do?
Sorry, was that for me or for?
For Serenity.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought you said Mahogany for some reason.
No, Mahogany hasn't taken any damage.
Yeah.
You're fine?
Fine.
Okay. And Serenity, you are constantly batting flies away from these wounds that have been opened, both by the Razor Vine and in the zombie fight.
And when I see Serenity batting away flies, I'll say, "Do you want me to try to close up some of those?"
Yeah, give it a shot.
All right, so now let's take this out of character. How much damage have you actually taken?
19.
All right, I'll. You can just munch on some good berries as we go around the corner. I'll just burn a couple of my level 1 slots.
How many good berries am I getting?
I'm straight up just giving you 20.
Okay.
So over the next few turns, like, you're eating them.
Over the next 2 minutes, I'm just stuffing down good berries, each of which is enough food to sustain my body for a full day, metabolically speaking.
Listen, it's really confusing. You feel like you've just eaten some soylent.
So do you eat 19 good berries over the next few minutes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Is there any unusual effect, or do I just knock 19 damage off my character sheet?
No, you just knock the 19 damage off.
I don't know.
I mean, you feel like you've eaten...
Very full.
You feel like you never have to eat again.
Oh man, how funny would that be if that's how good berries worked? If every time you ate, it was another day of food you didn't need to eat. So you just see Riot, who doesn't have to eat for the next year. She's just like, yeah, I'm good.
So what's next?
Upstairs? Or do we want to try and open some of these doors? I will remind you that rule number 3 is try to open as few doors as possible.
Mahogany will shrug and say, if I was in this tower and I didn't own it, I'd want to close a door between me and whatever was out there, but I can understand if you want to just go up.
Somebody take a green pen and let's draw green slashes through the doors that you've opened on the map here. So it's just something I don't have to keep track of in Photoshop.
Well, we can't draw in green. We can draw in our color.
Well,
Yeah,
whatever.
we can. No, you can.
Yeah, we
you can
can.
choose
You
whatever
can
color.
Really? How do you do that?
You go to the vector paint. Sorry, there's that word again.
Ah!
But we
No, I got it.
here and here.
Oh, you changed the color right there. Okay, I
Yeah,
got
you
it.
change the color.
Okay,
Well,
there you go.
don't be so sarcastic. It's just a color.
What's next?
Do we want to go upstairs?
Yeah, I don't see a reason to stay down here.
Let's just go.
If it turns out we need to and now
If
I
we need
can't
to
remember-
start opening up some doors, we can just come back down here.
Yeah, I'm talking like
You
a
guys
second now.
get-
If it turns out we need to do that, we'll come down and do it.
Yeah.
This far.
Sounds good to us.
Coming back through the storage room. Oh,
You
What have
find
I done?
another group.
you've all been cloned. No, sorry
Ah.
about that.
They come in and you're just like, man, is that what Mahogany looks like?
Looking through the door, you see a wounded Vrock holding a spear, barring the path. He has closed this door behind him.
Ah!
Oh wait, no, he can't. That one got kicked the hell in.
Yeah.
Yeah, redraw that. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I forgot. That's the one that Serenity blew off the hinges.
I think she did that to both these doors, didn't she?